Shalom, family and friends. I'm going live now to talk about the Torah story for tomorrow, as tomorrow is Shabbat, as you know. And so we have a Torah story of the week. Tomorrow's story is Parshat Nitzavim. This is the story for tomorrow night and the week ahead. And this story is always read on the Shabbat before Rosh Hashanah. And Rosh Hashanah is the Jewish New Year. It's really a new year for everybody in a way because it's actually celebrating the birthday of Adam, the birth of man. Technically, the creation of the world begins today, on the 25th of the Hebrew month of Elul. And on the 6th day, man, or Adam, was created. And that's when we'll celebrate Rosh Hashanah. So it's really a sort of a birthday or a rebirthing for everyone. So again, this story is called Parshat Nitzavim, and it's always read on the Shabbat before Rosh Hashanah. So really simply put, the main point of this story is we're preparing for Rosh Hashanah. We're preparing for this new year. We're preparing for this rebirth. And the word Nitzavim, as you know, the title always hints at what the story is going to be about. So the title Nitzavim means you are standing before. You are standing before. And there are other Hebrew words that mean standing, but this one, Nitzavim, is talking about really standing with purpose. It's saying you are standing before whom? Standing before the One, the Holy One, the Lord, the Creator. Because truly that is all there is the One of which we're all a part. So this story is called Standing Before. You are standing before. And then it goes on to say, you stand today, all of you, before the Lord your God. And Moses talks about the blessings and the curses, right? Seems redundant, right? Well, blessings and curses, but there's always a new message. So Moses talks about the different blessings and the curses that come of either following or not following the commandments. He talks about the choice, the free will that we have to choose either the path of blessing or the path of curse, the path of life or the path of death. And eventually he goes on to proclaim that you shall choose life. So really, this story is starting off with this powerful, you're standing before the Creator. Here you stand today before the Creator. It's not saying here you sit or here you lie down. It's very particular. Every word of the Torah, super intentional. And this title of this parsha is called Standing Before the Lord, right? So, and this is the one that's always read right before Rosh Hashanah. So it's saying you're about to enter the new year, the new you, this full rebirth. And also we're heading toward the new moon, right? So there's all this energy of new. And here you stand. It's saying, what are you going to do? How are you going to show up? How present can you be? How authentic can you be? How righteous and virtuous can you be here now, today, as you stand before God, as you stand before the Creator, who's watching through your own eyes? So, two main points of the story. The first one we just talked about is this idea of free will or choice. We have the choice to choose between the path of life or death, the path of blessing or curse. So, and we've heard this theme before again and again in the Torah, right? There's this idea of choice and free will. Another main point of this parsha is the idea of practicality of the path of blessing, the idea of the practicality of walking the path of the commandments. Moses talks about how following the commandments is not some faraway concept. It's not some heavenly concept that's unreachable. He says in the Parsha, it is a concept that is very achievable, this idea of walking the path of the commandments. It's right here, right now, within us. Everything that we need is within us in order to be able to follow the path of blessing, the path of life, the path of following the virtues and the commandments. So this is a really important part of Nitzavim because it's saying, look, Rosh Hashanah is coming up, the high holy days are coming up, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, Simchat Torah, and in order to prepare for them, we don't need to search far and wide for the strategies and the answers. We don't need to blast off to outer space or, it's not rocket science. Moses shares in a very important and profound way in this story, Parshat Nitzavim, the answers are within you. It's all inside. Everything that you need to embark on this holy journey, this holy upcoming journey of the high holy days, is within you. It's within you. And then it's what you express. It's what comes out of you that determines the outcome, right? It's the thoughts that we think. It's the words that we speak. It's the actions that we take that will determine the path ahead. So everything's within us. How are we going to use it is really the key to look at this week as we prepare for the high holy days. Another aspect of Parshat Nitzavim is understanding that we can be so blessed in this life, but if we're not grateful, the blessings mean nothing, because it's what we do with what is within, right? As we just said, it's what we do with what we have within that makes all the difference. So same thing with the blessings. Anything that's good in our life, it doesn't matter that there's goodness there unless we are consciously and actively expressing our gratitude for those blessings. So there's like a theme going on here. It's like we have everything we need within us. We are inherently abundant beings. We come from an infinite source of creation. But what are we going to do with that? What are we going to do with what we have within us? Also, I recall in my studies that when the incoming light is pouring down from the heavens, right? When the high holy days come, this is the idea that there's new light coming in. And so we have to prepare our vessels to receive it. We're not just ready. We have to do the work to be able to prepare ourselves to resonate with that incoming light so that we can receive it and anchor it in. And something I remember in my studies was hearing how we have the opportunity to prepare ourselves to be like angels to receive this light. But we need to be ready and willing to do the work. And that means we need to be standing in position, sort of like when you're about to run a race, and you got the racers like down on the ground, ready to go, right? Got their feet back, they got their hand to the ground, ready to go. And that's how we are starting tomorrow night with Parshat Nitzavim, preparing for the high holy days. Again, Nitzavim means you are standing before the Lord your God. You are standing before. That's what Nitzavim means. So this is like saying we're in the stance. We're in the stance of preparedness, showing that we are ready to receive that incoming light, but not just ready to receive it. We're ready to do the work to prepare to be able to receive it. We are ready to do the work of God. Ready, willing, and eager to do the work. So when you hear Parshat Nitzavim, you are standing before the Lord, the Creator. It should give you this feeling, this sense of responsibility, this sense of accountability of, I gotta be here, present, ready, and willing to do the work, so that as this incoming light pours down from the heavens, I will open to receive it. I will be magnetized to this light. So that's what tomorrow night's story is all about, and you can think about it for the week ahead. How can I best prepare? How can I be standing before God and know it? Remember that I'm truly always in the presence of God, who is omnipresent, who's inside of me, who's inside of all things. That's the level I want to take the meditation to this week, is remembering I'm always in the presence of God. So how can I always be, in a way, in an energetic or spiritual way, standing, meaning willing and ready to do the work of the Lord? How can I this week meditate on that, knowing that this is in every moment an opportunity I have, but really now letting it sink in at this most powerful time of the year where I can capitalize on this energy, because it is the theme. As it is this story that is always read on the Shabbat before Rosh Hashanah. Now more than ever, it is so important to recognize this opportunity that we truly have every moment to be aware that we are standing before and one with the Creator in every moment. How can I be my most prepared and ready to do God's work, which simultaneously means I'm ready to receive more light? Because when we do God's work, we create more light, which means we also receive it, because we're both giving and receiving at once. We're both givers and receivers of energy. We are transmitters of energy. And we're all one and connected. So when we give, we receive. There is no separation. So when we take this understanding of Parshat Nitzavim and we stretch it to that timeless perspective, this is what we extract, is this knowing that every moment we have the ability to remain fiercely aware that we are in God's presence, that we are one with God, and that we are here to do the work of the Lord, the work of God. And as we do that work, we create more light, which means we receive more light. There is no separation between these things. So the more we can remain aware consistently that we are one with God, that we are in God's presence, the more we can hold ourselves to this mission of doing the work of the Lord, of being of service. Knowing that each moment we do that, we're bringing more light into this world, into our bodies, into our shared reality, for our children, for our children's children, and all the generations to come, for eternity. So even if you just think about it for a moment, or even if you just think about it for this week and you forget about it after this week, it's a huge mitzvah. It's a huge good deed. It's a huge, powerful, profound practice that you can do starting tomorrow night, or starting right now, really in this moment, to meditate on how you can best be prepared to do the work of the Lord, so that you can receive that incoming light of the high holy days as Rosh Hashanah comes next week. See if I have anything else to share from here before I end the video. No, that feels like it. That's it. That's the point. That's the point that I want to make today, and that I want to meditate on for myself tomorrow night and for the week ahead. How can I be aware that I'm standing before the Lord, Nitzavim, that we are standing before the Lord, Nitzavim, so that I can remember that I'm always being watched, that I'm always being witnessed by the Holy One who is within me, watching through my eyes. How can I not be afraid of this judgment, but allow it to fuel me to choose the path of blessing and not curse, the path of life and not death, so that I can remain committed to upholding the commandments. And knowing that I'm standing before God right now, right before Rosh Hashanah and this new beginning, I have this opportunity to follow the commandments, knowing that I really have this opportunity every moment, for eternity. Parshat Nitzavim, I hope you enjoyed my share. I also shared some articles this morning in our private group, Shabbat Crew, here on Facebook, so check it out. There's some really good articles, videos that I shared there. Jerusalem Lights is an awesome podcast. You can find them on YouTube or on Spotify. I often share this podcast, so do your own research. Again, it's Parshat Nitzavim. You can see the name of the title in the video here. You can also find this video on YouTube, Rebecca Magic. You'll also be able to find it on Instagram, Rebecca Magic. So if you have friends or family you want to share this with and they don't have Facebook, or they're not in our private group, you can share with them the YouTube or Instagram link. They'll be up there shortly. I will get to it as soon as I end the video here. Thank you guys for joining me for this story explanation, and I will be going live tomorrow night for the candle lighting blessing, and I so look forward to seeing you all there joining me, because I did miss the live lighting last week. And thank you all for keeping the spirit of Shabbat alive in our group. Even though I couldn't be there, people shared some really lovely videos and photos of their own rituals, so I live for that. I so appreciate it. Love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow for the candle lighting. Peace. Shalom.